There are three major reasons that inventions fail or earn little to no real income. The invention lacks inherent value, the inventor or the company lacks the ability to get the invention to market well, or inadequate intellectual property protection, making it easy for others to copy the invention. Stick around if you'd like to learn some quick tips for overcoming each of these obstacles. Hi, Lisa Lloyd here with more tips, tricks, and strategies to help you optimize and accelerate your invention licensing business success. If you like this video, please tell YouTube by hitting those like and subscribe buttons. It's a free way to support me doing this. And if you want more like it, hit the notification bell to be the first to know whenever I've posted a new video each and every week. Okay, so let's dive right into the three most common obstacles that prevent inventors from getting well-paying licensing deals. The first and probably biggest obstacle that stands in the way of a successful invention is that the invention itself lacks the inherent value. Now, obviously, there needs to be some value in what you invent for the customer to be willing to buy it, right? But just how valuable does your invention need to be, and who is it that will care the most about that value? In other words, who is the ideal customer? Knowing the exact answer to both of these questions will make you so much more powerful as an inventor and ultimately drive your success whether you bring your product to market yourself or choose to license. So don't short sheet yourself. Instead, do customer research to answer first who exactly the customer is and be specific. Is it a woman, for example, who goes on business trips at least once a month because you've invented an expensive version of a travel pillow that contours perfectly to a woman's body? What they like and dislike currently about competing products? How much are they willing to pay for something that would solve your identified problem? You don't need to tell someone what your invention is. Just learn the answer to what they would be willing to pay if you solved that specific pain that you want to address. How big is the addressable market? Quick note on this. If you have a dog leash, for example, that attaches to bikes, then don't claim the addressable market is the total number of households in the United States with dogs. That's not specific enough. Instead, answer how many dog leashes that attach to bikes are sold each year. Scott Cook was the founder of Intuit, and he had an idea for creating a simple software solution just to help his wife manage her checkbook. Well, did he just go off of his gut and build a software solution with the assumption that not only would it meet her needs, but it would meet the needs for everybody? No, instead of using the Field of Dreams motto, if you build it, they will come, he literally used the phone book to randomly call people to ask them about the challenges of managing their checkbooks so that he could design some software empathetically, not just for his wife, but for everyone. And, well, you know how that story ends. Now, with all of that information and data, you are primed to make an intelligent business decision about what features to include to solve the pain so that you invent something that they want, what the price point is that you're now aiming for so that you don't make the mistake of inventing something that costs too much, and you have the data that supports moving forward with the investment of your own hard-earned money and making a nice return on it. And the second obstacle that often stands in the way is that inventors or the company they license it to lack the ability to get the invention to market. This is why licensing makes so much sense for almost every new inventor. There's so much time, money, and know-how that goes into getting a product on the store shelves and selling through to customers once it's there. You can eliminate about 90% of your financial risk by just choosing to license instead. So that means that you need to find the right company to do this with. Beyond the obviousness of finding a brand that will sell complementary products, it's very helpful to find a company that will benefit most from the competitive advantage that you bring them and earn you the highest possible royalty payments. A small company may be very competitive because they need to be able to stay in business, and that often makes them more open to and aggressive about licensing. Unfortunately, small companies also don't have the deep pockets and large enough distribution to sell enough units, which limits your earning potential. This is especially dangerous when even large companies fail 75% of the time or more when launching brand new products and why I don't license to small companies as a general rule. Bigger companies certainly have deeper pockets, the strong brand and distribution to give your product better odds and higher earnings. They're pros at bringing new products to market with higher success rates, but are also smart enough to thoroughly vet those opportunities when they're presented to them. So, if you want to have the highest odds and earning potential for your product, then you need to license to the right size company. To do that, you must be prepared to sufficiently demonstrate what you have invented and how it will be meaningful to the addressable market opportunity at a cost that makes sense. This is a real business and will pay like one if you treat it like one. Getting a deal for the sake of saying you licensed is an ego boost. But if you're like me, I'd rather have the paycheck than the ego. So choose your licensing partner as well. And finally, inadequate intellectual property. This one's tricky. I don't want to trigger your paranoia, and I'm not an attorney, so this is not legal advice, but more of a business strategy. First, you have to understand if you venture off making and selling your product without protection and prove that there is a big enough market when you begin to scale, you can count on bigger companies jumping on the bandwagon with something competitive at the very least. And with a poor patent protection, you're practically inviting them to knock you off at that point. And if you intend to license your invention, companies are not technically licensing your invention. They are licensing the patent rights to it because they value the right to be the exclusive company to make and sell your product. So as part of their decision process, they'll need to review your patent or your patent application, if you're still pending, to make sure that they believe that they can enforce those rights against their competitors if the same thing happens to them. Most invention experts these days will tell you that a simple PPA that you write yourself is good enough. Generally speaking, that is true, as long as you do it right. So having adequate intellectual property, a solid patent in this case, can be a critical factor in not just getting the license, but how much money you can earn as long as possible by preventing others from being able to infringe on your amazing solution. If you want to level up your invention licensing strategies, then book a free call with us to learn how we can help. And if you like what you learned today, please consider sharing this video with others and don't forget to like and subscribe. In the meantime, dare to dream and imagine what's possible when powered by innovation.